time for a beer, rum, and rock rock shot. This time, John Garner and Andy Cass and I are celebrating the 40th anniversary of AC/DC's 10th studio album, Fly on the Wall. Released on June 28, 1985, it was deemed a critical and commercial failure. However, it still went platinum in the US, selling over 1 million copies. The album was also the first and last AC/DC album to be produced solely by Angus and Malcolm Young. The band consisted of Simon Wright, drums, Malcolm Young, rhythm guitar and backing vocals, Angus Young, lead guitar, Cliff Williams, bass guitar and backing vocals, and Brian Johnson, lead vocals. All right, boys, let's talk about a band we all love, AC/DC, specifically the Fly on the Wall album. Now, as always, before we dive into the tunes, let's talk about the first time you heard this album and the impact it had on you. John, let's start with you, buddy. Do you remember back that far? I mean, it was 40 fucking years ago, but what do you got?
Isn't that nuts? So 1985, right? It was an AC/DC album. So at that point in time, I was like, fucking awesome. And I think, you sort of mature or what have you, or even demature, I think probably with most of the people on this fucking show.
We tend to devolve, yeah.
Right. I didn't put too much into the production values and all of that. Some of the stuff I liked, some of the stuff was like, meh. But I think, back then, everything was album related, right? It wasn't just one track here or there. So it was an AC/DC record, so it was completely fine by me.
How about you, Andy? When did Fly on the Wall come on your radar? What'd you think of it at the time?
Agreed. It was an AC/DC album, so it was golden right out of the box. But, you come off Back in Black, For Those About to Rock, Flick of the Switch, and then this lovely turd. The songs are pretty good.
This lovely turd?
Yeah. I actually did a big painting of the Fly on one of my walls, and I remember my dad pissed he had to paint over it before we moved.
No way.
And the track listing, like I'm looking through it and I go, the songs are okay. And when I went back and forced myself to listen through it today, it was like, choking down wet spinach. Because it's certainly not mastered for headphones.
Right.
In today's music, it sounds like it's not just underwater, but under a pillow 50 feet under. You can't understand a single word he's saying. And to be honest, verse, chorus, geez, guys.
The shit's flying already. No pun intended.
Well, I mean, there's good albums, there's great albums, and I've said for years, like maybe they should have taken a couple of these tunes and re-recorded them.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Randy?
So 85, I'm 19, right? And I love this band. I had all their albums, just like you guys did. And like you said, Johnny, Flick of the Switch comes out in 83, which is an underrated album. I like that album.
100%.
That's the last AC/DC album I like in its entirety until Black Ice. That's just me.
Yep. It's one of my favorites for sure. Yeah.
84 Jailbreak. So you go back, then you get some old stuff, some covers, and hey, fuck, that's cool too. Right? Right on. And they play Rock in Rio to 250,000 people. So a nice little intimate show they did around that time as well. So these guys are still getting it done on a high level. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And anything new by them, I'm going to be all over. And I fucking wore the cassette out. But man, time is not kind to this one. Right?
No.
Oh my God. And you mentioned the videos. There's 5 in total. And they're shot like a mini movie, I guess, if you link them all together. They're like a bar band and there's that fly buzzing around and there's a bit of a storyline.
Frankly, the fly is the highlight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, they're trying to compete with all these MTV bands, and they're just hanging on by their fingernails, right? So you had Fly in the Wall, Danger, Sink the Pink, Stand Up, and Shake Your Foundations. And Sink the Pink, could they at least get a hot chick? Chick's not even hot. Like, not MTV hot, anyway. Her hair's terrible. She's terrible. I'm like, what's happening? Who cast this shit?
That almost seems to be a theme for AC/DC videos, though. They don't ever really get, like, the Motley Crue chicks.
Exactly.
Yeah, but hang on a second. You talked about the hair. I mean, let's give Angus kudos where it's due. Like, his flow at that period was epic. I mean, that's the best that Maine has ever been.
It was the longest then.
Oh my God. Yeah. But I mean, it was fucking full on. Like, good for him. And look, I'm glad he's embraced the Snow White now. I think that's cool. But that period of time, I mean, that was everything.
It was long, man. So before listening to this album, like for this show, I hadn't heard a lot of these songs in fucking years, dude.
Yeah, me
Right?
either.
Like they're not in my rotation at all.
Yep.
That's because if they're on your playlist, the song before it would be really loud, and then this would come on, and you go, something's wrong.
What's wrong with my stereo? And I certainly liked it more then than I do now, like I said. Okay, let's move on to some fun facts. Recorded in Mountain Studios in Montreux, Switzerland. There's a little fun fact for you. First album not to include Mr. Phil Rudd, replaced by Simon Wright, making it the first AC/DC album with all members are born in the UK. That's nerdy shit. So there you go, John. One for you.
Thank you.
Like I said off the top, it's produced by Angus and Malcolm. I got a quote from Brian that I thought it was kind of funny. He said, "In my experience, the lads went with the producer, but they were really still telling the lad what they wanted.
Right.
So in a roundabout way, all it is an extra pair of ears. An expensive extra pair of ears." Apparently, they should have had one. The single Shake Your Foundation, Sink the Pink were included on that awesome movie, Maximum Overdrive.
Epic.
On the Who Made Who soundtrack. What a piece of shit movie that was. Oh my God. And my last fun fact is, I don't know if you guys remember this, but right around that time when the Fly on the Wall tour was rocking, that serial killer, and that's putting it mildly,
Yeah.
Richard Ramirez was arrested. He was called the Night Stalker. So apparently he tells the cops that Night Prowler off Highway to Hell drove him to commit murder. So the fucking PMRC and these people are just loving this.
Well, and then didn't they find an AC/DC ball cap like you're wearing at the murder scene? Something
They did.
like that.
That's why I wore it.
Right. Yeah.
My tribute to Richard Ramirez. Yeah, I think he was wearing an AC/DC t-shirt. So now there are devil worshippers, and AC/DC stands for Antichrist, Devil's Child, and all this fucking bullshit. But yeah, that's it for my fun facts. Just crazy. Ridiculous, right? Okay, let's talk about the music. 10 tracks in total, clocking in at just over 40 minutes. All tracks written by Malcolm, Angus, and Brian Johnson. Okay, man, let's go through them, as painful as it might be, and pick out our faves, if there are any, as we go. So you know me, I like to quote a little bit of lyrics, because the lyrics on this album, man, they are not that strong, to put it mildly.
No.
Oh, come on.
Oh, man, some are okay. I was trapped like a fly in the wall. I was caged like a zoo animal. Get it? Kind of rhymes. No escape from the fate that you make. You're a snake. I've had all I can take. Watch out, there's a fly in the wall. You know, on the curve of this album, it's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of sets the tone, and it's not bad.
It is a tone setter. And
Yeah.
like when I dropped the needle on this bad boy for the very first time, just that opening chord, I'm like, oh yeah, it's AC/DC. I'm good.
Sure.
And the rest of it, was I really listening that hard? No, didn't really care. And one of the notes I made here is like throughout the album, but I think very specifically on this first track, Brian Johnson was definitely channeling his inner Dan McCafferty from Nazareth. You look back on people's comments on that and how far back the vocals are in the mix, which is not my thing. I'm not a musician, Andy. I don't even pretend to be. But when I listen to it a little bit more, it's like, yeah, I see what they're saying, but there's a definite sort of growl there. I actually thought that was kind of cool.
Even his delivery, too, though, man. Like, to Andy's point, you can't understand a fucking word he's saying. Like, when I was reading these lyrics, I'm like, oh, that's what he's saying. He's
Right.
indecipherable till the
Yeah.
chorus.
It's
Right.
maybe they were crappy, so they're like, oh, more reverb, more delay, you know?
Yeah.
And bury them, because, I mean, you can't hear them over, even the drums drown them out. And I'm thinking maybe that's better. But I think this is one of the top two strongest songs on the album. Because I tried to choke through some of them, and I was wondering, okay, another chorus. Oh, okay, do that solo lick again that just is pointless in any meaning. And he's following the For Those About to Rock and doing the plucking of the notes with the staccato bits, and they just don't seem to fit. So I don't know if they were really burned out after Flick of the Switch and, you know, just under contractual, okay, let's get in there and make this happen. But I listened to Fly on the Wall, like, oh, okay, well, you started with a good tune, named the album after it, and then the rest is what, all filler?
It didn't make my top three, believe it or not.
This one's like a shot in the dark, because you listen to another one, you hear the riff, and you're like, oh, this is a good one. And then it goes sideways. It's kind of like UFO, where you're like, oh, what a cool song. And then the chorus hits, and they go into a ballad, and you're like, wait.
Yeah.
Right.
I do love UFO, though.
And
Sidebar.
hey, I'm there, you know, Schenker's the OG, but The Fly on the Wall, they started out strong, and then it just doesn't seem to pick up any momentum.
Can we move to 2? Are we good with that one?
Yep. Go.
Okay, number 2. She's getting hotter off the heat on me. I was oiling. She was slick, licking off the sweat. Her favorite trick. Ay-yi-yo, shake your foundations is number 2.
Move on. Next.
Holy smokes.
You know what? I don't mind this one. I'll just say it. Again, on this album, it's by far not the worst, I don't think. I put it in my top 3, believe it or not. What can I say?
Good Lord, Randall.
I did. Yeah. I just kept laughing at the chorus and thought, this is okay. The bar kept dropping.
Take your foundation. That's the arena kind of stuff that they're looking for, right?
That's right. Yeah.
But the rest of the song, you're like, oh.
Oh, no. No.
My note was it's got kind of a cool groove to it. No? I get no on that one?
No.
All right. I thought the solo from Angus was okay. It's a lot of okay and good enough is what's going to happen here.
That's the thing. This whole album is not Ball Breaker, so it's a step up.
The worst ones are this one, Ball Breaker, and Blow Up Your Video for me. Those are the 3 bottom.
Yeah, I mean, Blow Up Your Video's got a couple of tracks on there for me, but
there's always a couple.
Yeah, but Ball Breaker is it's the anchor.
You know what? Not to sidebar onto that album, but Rick Rubin's production I thought was good. The songs just aren't great.
Right, and I would listen to those on my headphones more than I'd want to listen to this. Even if it was a crappy tune, you're like, okay. But this one, you're choking down every song. It's like the needle drop, and you go, something's wrong. Something's wrong.
How am I supposed to get Angus on this fucking podcast now?
Just don't talk about this album.
Oh, my God. He probably doesn't want to talk about it either.
I don't mean to shit on it so hard, but I mean, geez, when you listen to any of their other albums in the catalog and then put this one on, you're like, whoa, swing and a miss, guys.
Well, isn't that just it, Andy, is the bar is so fucking high. Their bar is up here.
Right.
I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to 3, as painful as it is. I want a little squeezing, just a touch and teasing. Maybe wrong, maybe right, but I like it every night. I want first blood. I couldn't even remember this song. But you know what? Again, I thought, it's not bad. A bit paint by numbers, AC/DC, of course, but I thought it was a decent riff.
You coined the phrase, it's paint by numbers AC/DC. There's a riff, there's some words, there's some drumming.
And even the chant in the chorus, it's almost hard to understand what he's saying almost.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe somebody just leaned on the treble knob and put it through his voice.
See, you need that outside producer, I think, in most bands, like just to say, hey, this isn't good enough.
Who wrote all the lyrics on this album? Do you know?
I think Johnson was still doing it at this point.
Was he?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Not that Angus and Malcolm can't write bad lyrics, because fuck, they can. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This kind of feels like there was some other input, because this isn't all him.
Well, the official credit is Angus, Malcolm, and Brian on all songs, and he's not writing the music, so I just put the 2 and 2 together, and he's writing the lyrics, but...
They got somebody else from Warner Brothers going, here, I got a pencil, hang on.
Exactly. Oh, my God.
Somebody else's 13-year-old boy was chiming in.
It's really a shame that they're so strict with their YouTube copyright shit that I can't put any music clips in this show. Eh?
Right.
People have to do the work for themselves to see how bad this stuff is. And it's not going to get any better, because this one is the first one for me that is an absolute fucking clunker. Like, this one's terrible. I'm bruised, broken, bandaged through drinking all that brandy. Danger, danger, don't talk to strangers. This is so fucking boring, I can't even believe it.
And it was released as a fucking single.
The chorus blows.
Oh, my God. Like, Jesus Christ, what were they thinking?
Well, they had an opportunity to really play on the guitars, right? Because the guitars are really dynamic in this tune.
Yeah.
So had they been recorded with any kind of, like when we spoke about ZZ Top stuff and how they re-released Tush, how the original Tush has just bone dry. And then the re-release, to make everybody happy, was just all full of chorus and delays and nonsense or reverbs. And Danger, if they took that all off, you might have something that at least the guitar players would go, hey, that's pretty badass tone. Instead, it sounds like playing through some kind of crappy solid state nonsense.
So are they falling victim just to all that mid-'80s stuff
sure.
that was going on? They are. Even AC/DC wasn't immune to it, obviously. Okay, man. Well, for me, track 5 is a positive one. It's my favorite track on the album. If I have to pick one, it's Sink the Pink. It's all the fashion. Drink the drink. It's old-fashioned. Give me water, give me wine. Gonna show you a good time. It's subtle.
Clearly talking about their snooker heritage from the pool halls.
Exactly. That's what they're talking about. I mean, this is textbook AC/DC in a way. It's a catchy riff, kind of that driving beat. There's some dynamics in it, hilarious lyrics.
Bon Scott double entendre to Brian Johnson's single entendre.
That's right.
That's right.
Totally. Not quite as clever. Yeah.
I kind of feel like this is the whole album. It's sort of they're sort of striving to go back to that, and it's just not there.
You mentioned it earlier, and I think what they were doing is writing for videos. So they must have had a meeting, at the record company's office, and they're like, "Okay, boys, we got great big plans for you. We're gonna do videos and blah blah blah, and then come up with a concept." And then they had, we go fly on the wall. Okay. And they ran with it. And then, okay, we need 9 more songs. There's no cohesiveness to the whole album. If you go from the Let There Be Rock movie, which is where I cut my teeth with AC/DC, being a kid, the Palace Theater, watching this, just being like, holy shit.
I was there, dude.
With all the dudes smoking pot. And I was like, not even knowing what's going on. And then you elevate or whatever to this album. Yeah. It's not the same band. Like they tried something or somebody told them to do something and clearly they weren't in control.
They were struggling. Okay, boys, let's go to number 6. Heading for the clubs and bars with the flashing lights, looking for the good time girls and their black nylon tights. I like this one. Over the barrel, bottoms up. Playing with girls, gonna get you hot. Wow. Playing with girls is number 6. Man, now they lost me again. They had me for a bit. Now they lost me again. It's just not very exciting. It's mediocre. It's like an AC/DC cover band. That's kind of what it sounds like, right?
This did make my honorable mention.
It did, hey?
Yeah, it did. To me, this was kind of hilarious, tongue-in-cheek, and I liked it better than Sink the Pink.
I wrote down it's not horrible.
It isn't. It's not horrible.
Well, it's got an okay groove.
Right?
I'll give it that one. I'll stop shitting on it so hard. I guess it's got an okay groove. But I agree, Sink the Pink is still the sort of the standout at this point.
Okay, let's just keep moving, man. I have to try to stay awake while I read the lyrics to this fucking snoozer. Track number 7 is Stand Up. Get on the red dress, slip on the lace, up for a high heel and a pretty face. Don't even know her number, don't even know her name. Stand up and take it. This is a fucking snooze fest for me. This one is fucking boring. The most boring song on the album, I think. I got nothing good to say about this one.
I disagree. Only because the riff, when it kicks off, like for me, it's got like almost like a pseudo-Western movie feel to it. And I kind of like that vibe through the whole thing.
I never heard that.
Well, you got to listen to it fucking closer then. Turn it up.
Try again.
The one thing that this album is missing, which all the other albums have somewhere, is a fast one. This doesn't have a fast one in it.
Doesn't have a banger, does it?
It really doesn't. Where's the fire your guns on this album? Or your landslide, whatever it may be. From the lyric side of it, fine, not a problem. That was a piece that kind of caught me that I kind of liked.
Anything on this one, Andy? What do you got for Stand Up?
I guess, let's be honest. Are we listening to AC/DC for the lyrics?
I suppose not. Well, with Bon, I kind of was.
Well,
Bon's lyrics are awesome.
Right. That kind of ended. But listen to how strong a guitar album, the first 4 with Brian were. And then you get to this one and you're like, wait. It's a completely different band on this album. Stand Up to me is just like, next.
All right, let's press on. Track number 8. Mama done told me, Papa done scold me, told me, shown me, rock and rolled me, come hell or high water. Once again, this one for me is not that bad.
It's not terrible.
Just not up to AC/DC standards. It sounds recycled. It's totally forgettable, but it's not horrible again.
Yeah, and the chorus isn't clear enough. It's almost like they're mumbling through it, and there's no punchy guitar. There's no syncopated kind of rock and roll. Just sort of goes along. You go, okay, good, next.
Exactly. Just kind of goes along. That's exactly right.
Completely forgettable.
Yes. In fact, it's totally forgettable, Andy, is what I have down here. I'm switching completely with totally.
Right.
Yeah. Anything on this one, John? You didn't mind it? Or
again, it was like it's in that muddy middle of fine. It's
muddy middle. Nice.
Right. Like I said, there's a couple of 3 tracks that I'm okay with. Again, putting it on the AC/DC curve, the whole thing is very low. And I'm as big a fan as there is out there, man.
Well, it's your favorite band. I mean, come on. This must be hard for you to bash your favorite band for half an hour.
It's killing me. And again, like I keep saying it on all these shows when we go to revisit this, it's like, oh shit, you know what? I put this album back on, I'm reinvigorated. Yeah, not really.
I try the same thing. I put it on going, today it's going to be great.
It's going to be okay.
Today's the day.
It's like being at the dentist for the first time in 6 years and getting all the plaque cleaned off. Right? It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's still not great.
It's like a root canal.
It's still not great.
Okay, man. Track number 9. Call Me Dirty. Trash My Name. Just tell the boys
that I'm gonna be back in business again.
What John said.
Now that's a great chorus. What a great chorus.
It's fucking awesome.
I love the riff too. I like this one. I like the bluesy riff.
This is a good one. I like this one.
This is the one that I was jumping between Fly on the Wall and this one, which is my favorite track from the album.
Okay.
Because I think it had a good, strong chorus and a good rocker, I mean, for what the album has.
Yeah. It's got a bit of a dark feeling to it, which I kind of like. It's kind of fun that way.
Now, maybe I'm reaching here, Andy, but do I hear just a little bit of a ZZ Top vibe?
A little bit, right?
Okay. It's not just me. I thought a little hint of that in there. And like you said, I thought the chorus was strong. Not amazing, but on this album, it stands out for me.
Exactly. On the Fly on the Wall curve, it's right at the top.
Like we have to qualify it every time.
Every time.
Okay. Last but not least, I'm turning it over to John.
All right. The last song. This is so fucking good. Sand for the Man. You're like a dream. Dirty, low, and mean. Look good enough to eat. You're sticky, hot, and sweet. Need a shot of rhythm and lovin'. You make a black sheep a ram. This ain't a gun in my pocket. I got the goods in my hand. Yeah, sand for the man.
I mean, when I'm 19, I'm eating this up.
So
I mean, come on. I like make a black sheep a ram. Oh, my God.
But, okay, so follow me for a little bit with this one. Andy is the only musician in this trio that we have right now.
Yeah, our guitars are just for decoration.
Yeah, 100%. You should see the inches of dust on this shit behind me. So it's that slower tempo, right, where AC/DC will always throw out to you. And I have to say, I don't mind the sort of the drive-in rhythm and what have you, but it's got a lilt to me of Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution at the back end of Back in Black. It's the slowest one of the whole thing. I'm not saying for a second that it is that song. It's not, right? It just feels like it's sort of almost an homage to that. I just think it's fucking hilarious.
Well, again, a good chorus, but I couldn't tell you what the intro is. And AC/DC, you know, you have to have a great intro, you have to have a great verse and a great chorus, and then the solo is off you go. But
right,
I don't know.
Andy's not sold. Well, let me try.
Are you curling the beard at this point, Andy? You're just curling the beard.
Well, as I look through the track listing, I'm like, nope.
This one was my honorable if I had to pick one. It's a bit of an odd one because there's lyrically, I mean, it's funny, but there's really not a lot there lyrically. It sounds unfinished. Like I think there's a song there. Like I like the big simple riff and that big dumb chorus. I thought there's something about it too, but something about it works for me. But it feels unfinished. Like if they would have spent more time, well, on this whole fucking album, let's face it. But shit, they're way deep in their catalog by this point. You're gonna get a clunker. Every band we love has got a stinker in there somewhere. Usually,
the whole album.
They can't maintain that.
Wow.
Like I mean, I've heard of the record company telling Clapton, you know, nope, take that album back and give us a new one because this one's not good enough. Who let this one go? Oh, that's great. Okay. You know, but then they made all the money from videos, so it probably had little to do with the actual songs. It's just, you know, let people dance with their eyes. I have a bootleg of the Blow Up Your Video album, and on the back of it, it's got all the listings of how many times they played Wembley during that period. It's like sold out for 2 weeks in a row or something like that. So this didn't hurt them one iota. It helped them because of the videos. It's only, you know, us crusty dusties to go back now and listen to it going, no.
As has been pointed out to me in many comments, because I do look, we're a bunch of fucking boomers complaining about shit all the time. I'm like, hey, I'm not a boomer. I'm right on the fucking Gen X edge. So fuck you.
We're Gen X. Like, just
Yeah,
move
just
on.
by a hair.
Yeah, that's all we need.
I'm just a cranky old bastard. I'll take that one.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I don't even know if I have to say this sentence, but all right, boys, any final thoughts on AC/DC's Fly on the Wall?
Kids, go buy it. You won't be disappointed.
Oh my God. Like when I grade albums and songs like this from a band I love, it's always a bit tricky because you're going to compare it to their previous work. You just are, right? And this is a weak AC/DC album.
It
You
is.
compare it to their previous stuff. There's no doubt about it, man.
Although, if you played it in a large venue, right, where the recording of it really didn't make a difference, and people are just going to rock out to Sink the Pink, you got them.
You know what? You make a good point. Some of these they did play live. Not a lot of them. Like they did Fly on the Wall. Sink the Pink. Foundations probably.
Danger.
Yeah, but they ditched Danger pretty fucking quickly.
They did. That's right.
That did not translate.
No, it's too slow. It's trudgy, right?
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, you're right. Maybe they come alive live, Andy. Yeah, that's true.
Or even playing them at a party, right? Like you throw it on your CD player and people are just digging it because we're not listening to it like what we're hearing going, what?
Again, at the time, you're way more forgiving. At least I know I was. I mean, that black cassette, the words were rubbed right off it. I'm sure of it.
Well, it's on the 600-watt Alpine in my Chevette.
Exactly. I'll take your Chevette and raise you an Omni, a Dodge Omni.
My German Blaupunkt CD player in my Vauxhall Cavalier. The stereo was worth more than the fucking car.
Oh, my stereo was always worth more than my car, hands down.
And just the stereo thing that you took in and took out.
Yeah.
Forget the speakers. The speakers sucked. They came with the car.
Carrying around your little suitcase.
Right,
And then I went to the detachable faceplate, and I was always Alpine, like you, Andy. Yeah.
Being the musician where you show up with a $10,000 guitar, $5,000 amp, and your $300 car.
Yeah, exactly.
It's real.
Priorities, man.
It's real.
Okay, boys, have we said all there is to say about Fly on the Wall? I think so.
I think so.
Everything good has been said.
Okay, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining me, dudes. That was a fun one, man. Revisiting this one, even though it sucked, it was fun talking about.
Hey, 40 years. Hasn't changed.
And thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you taking the time to hang with us. As always, let us know what you guys think of Fly on the Wall in the comments. We'd love to hear what your thoughts and memories of this piece of shit are, too. You can find us on all the socials, remember podcasts and broadcasts. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, kids. And on behalf of John and Andy and I, keep rock alive, kids. Peace out.
Elvis has left the building.